Hi, this is Ryan, and today I want to tell you about one of my favorite people in history, and his name is John D. Rockefeller. You might know him as one of the greatest oil tycoons and businessmen ever, and that's one reason why I really appreciate him, because I've always had a great interest in business. He was actually born July 8, 1839, just about 2 days ago. He was actually the second of 6 children, so family life wasn't always the easiest. And his father was actually a traveling salesman, so he was gone all the time. His father also had not the best business antics, as he was known as kind of a dark schemer, and he mostly focused on ripping people off. And it was even known that he would even try to rip off his children just to teach them a lesson, is what he said. On top of that, as you can tell, his father was a traveling salesman, so he was gone very often, and he left it up to the children's mother to raise them. And one woman raising 6 children, that would be pretty tough. But even with that being said, he went ahead, he was a very good student, he was very well behaved, and he always studied his hardest. Even when he was young, he was a great entrepreneur, as he went and sold things like turkeys, potatoes, and just about everything you can imagine. And what's even greater is he would help out the people around him by actually giving them small loans from everything that he had sold. Even he was known by all his peers as being a great debater. That was one of his best skills, and he was also very good at math. Actually, his first thing he wanted to do was become a musician. It was one of his greatest ambitions. But he actually got his start in accounting. Accounting was actually his first job, and he actually got his first job with a produce company named Hewitt and Tuttle. And he succeeded very well at this job, and actually he even started his philanthropy, which we'll talk about much later. He actually, even before he was 20, he always gave 10% of everything he earned to charities. It was usually the Baptist church that he went to, but still a very good cause and noble for someone of that age. And through all the experience he gained from the produce company, or the first business he actually got into was the produce business. And so he actually went to business with his partner, whose name was Maurice Clark, and they ran the produce business for very long, and they're very successful. Rockefeller was more on the business end of things. He was very into finances, as he was in the accounting world beforehand, and that actually is what helped the business to really prosper. And ever since he started the business, which was about when he was 21, he always made a lot of money, and his main goal was to always reinvest the profits just to grow the business even more. And actually, he got his big break in 1863, and what he actually did was started with Clark. He started an oil refinery company, and I don't know how much you know about John D. Rockefeller, but he actually grew the biggest oil company probably in history. That actually made him one of the richest men in all history as well. There was a lot of controversy with his oil company. He gained so much control and was so business savvy that eventually he was persecuted for running a monopoly, and the government in America forced him to break it down to make it not so monopolized. A few great facts about him. Like I said earlier, if you adjust for inflation, he's actually known as the richest man alive. On top of all his business success, he was also very big into philanthropy. He actually gave over $80 million to the University of Chicago to build their university. He also created the Rockefeller Foundation and gave over $250 million to them to help things like public health and all things medically related. On top of that, he also gave a ton of money to all the Ivy League schools, including Harvard, Yale, Brown, etc., and all the others. And another thing, Standard Oil, which was the oil company he created, was actually one of the first great trusts before it was a monopoly was dawned on it. And he's also contributed to many other great things as well. He also created the first conditional grant for education, which actually, because he was really big into efficiency, it made the educational system more efficient in his eyes. He also started the General Education Board, which was one of the first organizations to help out black schools in the South, which was a very revolutionary thing. And all of his givings to the medicine world actually innovated it more than anyone else during that time, more than anyone else ever had. And then, unfortunately, he died on May 23rd, 1937, in Ormond Beach, Florida, which was one of his favorite vacation homes.